are thinking. So, but without further ado, let's get down to page sketch 8. Now, who found some mulberry paper in their craft stash? Have we got a thumbs up? I'm going to put a thumb up because I found some. Again, one of those things we buy. We might use it once on a card and it's just sitting there in our crafty stash. G says she loves her Wednesdays, and to also have a video chat with Carol and Anne. Yeah, now this is another thing I've been looking at, Jean. If I do it as Zoom, I can only do Zoom for 40 minutes. So to get a scrapbook layout done for 40 minutes is pushing it a little bit. If I do it any longer, I've got to buy a professional version to have enough of you to watch. So if I do something like that, I've got to purchase that. So this is why I've really got to look into it and how I could carry this on. So if any of you have got any ideas or any feedback of how you'd like to do things, please just comment. You can leave me a private message on Facebook if you wish. Just let me know if you've got any other ideas of how I can carry on with this, whether it's just private tutorial, so you can do it as and when in the time that suits you each week, whether you want to have it as a regular live like this. You know, these are things I've got to look at. I would love to do it as Zoom where you can all interact and talk to me as well. But I've got to purchase that as a professional level, and that then I'm looking at quite a bit of money. So yes, I'm looking at options at the moment. So Chris says, is it just moving back to front? Yes, Chris, when you look at my words are back to front, and the reason they are is I'm using my daughter's phone to film today. So when you're filming with your phone, if I filmed with my phone that way down, okay, so I'm looking down through the proper camera, it'd be the right way. I've got Lauren's phone that way round, okay, so I've got it as a selfie, and that's why the writing's back to front. There is a setting to change that. However, me and modern technology, I haven't quite worked it out yet, but it doesn't matter because you haven't got to worry about don't worry about the writing. And I don't want to move the camera now. I've got you all here, Chris. So you printed off your page sketch 8, so you're ready to go anyway. Now, I did share with you that with page sketch 8, you've got this lovely big pocket, so you've got plenty of room to put lots of stash on. Okay, so it's perfect for that. But it also works very nicely as a double page layout with page sketch 9, if you wish. Okay, so I know Jean wants to do hers as a separate page, and the nice thing about page sketch 9 is you've also got another nice big pocket. So if you've got lots of photos to get down, and you know I've been scrapbooking my son's 18th birthday, so I've sorted out pictures for today. And then you see I've found things like this. This was the leaflet that we picked up. Okay, so when we went along, again, something I want to keep, but to pop it into one of these envelopes or one of these big pockets is going to be just perfect. So that's where these big pockets, see that one comes right into its own. Okay, so it's perfect for this. So that's what I had in mind with this layout. But anyway, I'm going to concentrate on this layout. As I said to you, I've got enough of my papers and cardstock, okay, that what I don't use this week, I'm going to use next week. So if you want to work with me with that, this is what we're going to go with, okay? So guess what we're going to do, Julie? We're going to gut to start with. Yes, we're going to gut some cardstock. So to start with, you need to work out which one you're going to have as your base card. I might go with a little bit of that for a bit of contrast. I think I'm going to go with that one and with that one. Yes, we're going to gut, Julie. I'm sorry. I'm not letting you get away. We're going to do a bit of gutting. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that one. So 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, Okay, and if you look at your page sketch, it says you need to gut in at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. Yeah, you'll need to laugh. I don't want you ladies getting out the habit of gutting cardstock once we get back to our classes, you see. I'm keeping you going here. So, I'm in at my 3/4 of an inch mark. Is this bothering you that this is back to front? The picture that you're seeing it back to front? Or are we okay? Should we just carry on with this? Give me a thumbs up if we just carry on with this, just so I know. You've all gone quiet on me now. I bet you've all got your things out. Heather says it's fine. Getting thumbs up. Right, well, carry on with this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, get your blade at the 3/4 of an inch mark and push down. Jean says no. Are you not happy with this, Jean? Are you not happy with it this way round, Jean? Because if I turn the camera, I could have all sorts of problems. But let me know, Jean. Just type something out. Speak to me, Jean. It's all gone quiet. No, we're getting thumbs up. You're happy. Right. So I'm in at my 3/4 of an inch mark. Down, and I've got my blade going across. No, Jean agrees with everyone else. Fine. Will it be a bonus layout? What, having it back to front? I'm not sure what you mean, Catherine. Leave me a bit more information. So I'm going to cut up at 3/4 of an inch. Now the way I do it is I then turn. Okay. So back in then at 3/4 of an inch. Who's looking forward to getting out in their gardens in that sunshine after we've done our scrap along this morning? I am. I need to sort out. I've still got the dry bed area and my water feature to redo. I cleaned all the water feature out the weekend. Did all my power washing. So it's all nice and clean. So I now need to sort out refilling it. And I see that Heather has actually filled her big paddling, well, it's more than a paddling pool, it's huge. It's like a large hot tub, Heather. She's got that all ready for this sunshine. Meant to have some good weather the next couple of days. So, I'm just going to pull that out. So we've gutted that all the way around, and that was quite painless, wasn't it? Now, Julie, come on, it was quite painless. So, and I'm just checking. Kerry says she gardened today. It was beautiful. 24 degrees. Oh, but you've got rain predicted tomorrow. Jill, it's absolutely fine. If you want to stay and enjoy the chat and joining in with us, okay, that is absolutely perfect. And then what you can do is you can do it later and not a problem whatsoever. Heather says this paddling pool Heather's got, it's huge. She put it on Facebook last night. She says she can get all 4 of them in it. My word, you lucky lady. So, the next thing we're going to do is to get our pattern paper. So, can you see I've gutted at the back? This was single-sided, so you can use single or double. So, now we're going to cut this piece at 11 inches by 11 inches. Okay. So I'm going 11. So Christine says, I've just made a right mess. I forgot to stop cutting. Oh, Christine. Oh, dear. Were you getting a bit carried away with me gabbling on in your ear? So that's my piece. That's 11 by 11. Okay. So, and I'm now going to stick this onto there. Or actually, I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, no, I'm going to stick it on. We're going to stick it on. Go in. Let's go in with the glue and stick down. So I'll go slowly, Christine, so you can catch up. Grab another bit of paper. So I'm putting just a very thin bead on the inside edge. I hope you can see it. A very, very thin bead. Oh, there we go. Oh, and I've got a bit on my craft mat, so in a minute I'm going to have to mop that up, otherwise I'm going to have everything sticking down. And then you're going to plonk that on the top. Technical term that is, plonk. Okay. And that works quite nicely together. And the nice thing about if you've got your cal out is if you've got it on, do it with your finger while it's still wet, and you can mop that away. Don't go in with a wet tissue or cloth. Always go in with your dry finger. Right, that's where I want it to be. Now I've got some on my craft mat, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mop up while you're all catching up with me. I forgot to tell you as well to get a paintbrush and a little bit of water to do your mulberry paper. But you'll have time just to grab that, that's not a problem. So I'm just wiping that down because I made a right mess on my mat with my glue. Dry that off. Right, so that's my piece done. Now because I've used double-sided this time, I could do a layout on the reverse. Just a little heads up, because I know people like Karen, Julie, there's a few of you there, like to do a little layout on the reverse, and that is not a problem. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to gut a piece to use for the middle here. And the reason I'm going to gut out of this piece, I know, Julie, it's going to probably be the last bit of gutting, but well, perhaps not. Don't listen to me today. I'm still on a high from yesterday and my daughter finishing her uni course, so just ignore me. Yes, so I'm going to get you to, gut in. Right, so this is measuring, this bit of cardstock that we've used, that's measuring 10.5 by 10.5. So if we go in 1 inch each side, that should be about right. Probably 1.25 inches. We'll go 1.25 inches. Right, we're going to gut again. Julie says she's having a breakdown now. You're absolutely fine, Julie. You'll be fine. Just stick with me. So, the piece of card that I cut out, because I'm going to use part of this next week, I'm going to gut out the middle. And I'm going to gut out the middle at 1 1.25 inches. 1 1/4 inches. I'll say it again. So I'm going in 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. And let me just double check. 1 1/4. That's fine. 1 1/4. Okay. So I'm going 1 1/4 all the way around again. So I can use this next week because I picked this out of my craft stash. However, it was the only piece I've got left this colour. So this is where, because we've been using what we've got at home. Now, have you ladies and gentlemen enjoyed using what you've got at home to do these page sketches? Because it's quite refreshing actually, isn't it? Using what you've got, using it up. By the time we come out of lockdown, we'll be able to go to the craft shop and stock up because we used it all. Or not. I've enjoyed using what I've got at home. So, okay. Yes, we are. We're enjoying using what we've got at home. I think it's perfect. And it's just the right thing to do in the current climate, I think. I'm just tidying up. I might need to put a new blade in my trimmer, I'm thinking. Right. Yes, I need to get a new blade out. I'll have to find a packet of blades. Right. So, this you're going to put away for next week. This bit we're going to use. So this is going to go in the middle to create our pot, or not quite. I had mine offset like that. Okay, so choice is yours. Okay, Dawn says it's brilliant to use up all your old papers. You're absolutely right. And sometimes there's papers you've got that you think, oh, I don't really like those. But in some of the layouts we're doing, when you've only got a little bit left to show, it's a good way of using them up. So now we're going to go in with the mulberry paper. If you haven't got any mulberry paper and you've grabbed yourself an extra piece of pattern paper to use, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so the mulberry paper, if I bring in my original, what I've done is I've used it over the top. And we had this as one of the techniques. So in the classes that I run, every page sketch has a different technique. So in this one, it was the mulberry paper. It was making extra, using your tag cutter to make as extra photo mats, but not using any cardstock, because if you haven't got any cardstock left, you can still do that. Okay, so that was another technique. And we also did our little rosette. All right, so my mulberry paper needs to be about 8 by 8. So I'm going to give it a rough trim. This is what I do. But then we're going to use the water to roughen it up. That'll do. So I've got my brush and my water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in so it's going to fit nicely on there. If you've got normal pattern paper, you can go ahead and just trim your pattern paper down at, say, 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. But I'm going in with my mulberry paper, and what you do is just get a damp brush. You've got perfect, Chris. Now, will handmade papers work the same as the mulberry? I'm not quite sure. Try it out on a piece, but if not, you could tear the edges, or you could just cut it with your paper trimmer. So yes, in fact, saying that, Chris, I've got some handmade papers in my crafty stash. Again, something I bought, never used. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing a line of water, and then you're going to pull those away with your nail, so you can see where the fibres are. You card making ladies out there, this is something I bet you're doing your card making. Or if you haven't done it lately, hopefully after this, it will make you get your mulberry paper out and have another go. Because again, we get these things and we forget we've got them, and we forget the techniques. So, and I'm going to do this on all 4. So can you see the difference between having that line and this line? So I'm just going to carry on. And you've all gone quiet, so I'm hoping you're carrying on as well. Now I've decided for my layout to use, rather than 2 portrait pictures like I did last time, I'm going to use 2 landscape pictures. And I know I say this to you every week, but just think your page sketches can work either way for you. They're there as a guide. They're there that I made these ones up particularly for a class. The classes that some of my ladies that are here this morning do with me. A class that I run here in Edwinstowe in Nottinghamshire. And fingers crossed, hopefully we can get back to class soon, because I have missed you all and the banter and the chat. So it is nice to see you all. And I have emailed you ladies that are in my class. I've emailed you your image for May's class, and your kits are in the post. I've allowed 2 weeks purely because with the bank holiday, and I know the post at the moment is funny for some of you, you're not getting your stuff quite on time. You'll get it all ahead of time, that you'll have it in time for class. Okay, so I've done that for you, so they've all gone in the post. So I have been quite busy. Still haven't tidied my craft room properly. My craft room looks a tip. My daughter came in this morning to help me set up the camera. She said, Mum, this craft room, you've got to do something about it. So I did make a start. and then lockdown, and then I've got busy with doing these lives with you and filming classes to send to you as well. So it's been quite busy for me. So, but I'm getting there. And if anything, it's making me totally forget about what's happening in the big wide world. So I haven't had too many meltdowns, put it that way. So that is my mulberry paper done. Okay, what was the second size of the piece of paper on the card? Right, Carol, this was the piece we got out that was 8 by 8. So if you're not using mulberry paper and you're using card, I would go 7 3/4 by 7 3/4, so you've got a nice matte layer on there. Okay, and if I measure my mulberry paper, let me have a look. Oh, it might still be a little bit big. Let me have a look. So I'm just going to lay this onto here. Oh yeah, my oh no, that I want to take a little bit more off this side. And I'm going to take a little bit more off. So yeah, if you're going in with pattern paper, go about 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. I've been probably a bit too kind with the water with my mulberry paper, so I'm going to take some more off. Good thing about it is you can always take more off. You can't stick it on once you've done it. So, and I must say I do like the effect with the mulberry paper and the water, and it's something I always forget to use. So yeah, it's making me look at what I've got in my craft room stash look a bit better. I'm going to take a little bit more off that side. Now I'm not overly soaking the sides. I have got my heat gun ready if I felt I had, that I can dry off the edges, but I haven't overly soaked, and I think by the time we've got the next stage done it will be absolutely fine. How are we doing for time? We're doing fine. Right, let's have a look and see what that looks like. And I'm going to throw those bits in the bin. I'm not keeping them, so don't be worried. Oh, I need just a tad off that side. Right, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Morning, Joe. Are you going to watch now and then catch up later? Because we've already made a start. Hope you're keeping well. Have you been doing lots of scrapbooking at home, Joe, or have you been enjoying your garden? It's quite nice to get a balance, isn't it? Get out when the sun's shining and stay in when the sun isn't. Right, I think I'm about there with the mulberry paper size. So what I've got is, can you see, like if you had pattern paper, you've got a seam all the way round. Oh, now Chris has said she's used handmade paper, not mulberry paper, and she said it's worked up absolutely fine. Joe's going to catch up later. She's just cycled round to see a friend and have coffee in the garden. That is lovely, Joe. This is the nice thing now. In the UK here, we can see one other person that's not in our house at a 2 metre distance. So like yesterday, I popped some cake round to my neighbour, some of Lauren's beautiful cake, if you saw it on Facebook. I popped a little bit of cake round for her and her husband. So I texted her and I met her in the back garden and I left it in the garden, and then she took it away and put it on her own plate. So I took some cake round to her. So it's quite good. Now Katie says she's using matte paper and tearing the edges. Now that's a good idea. So mulberry paper works. Chris has used handmade paper with the same technique and it's worked. And Katie's used matte paper. Carol's cutting her paper. So we're getting there. We're all absolutely fine. This is perfect. So do you know what we can do? We can now get this stuck onto our layout. Now, we're creating a pocket. Now, you can put your pocket bang slap in the middle. I'm going to bring mine so I've got a wider strip around there. And actually, to do my pocket, I'm not going to glue. I'm going to use some double-sided tape, if I can find it, she says. All my double-sided tape seems to have gone. This is because I was filming another project. I'm doing a mini book, another mini book. I'm revamping something I've done before. And I've been filming it. And I can't find my tape. So I will do that ready for this weekend. Because here in the UK, right, I can't find my thinner tape. I'll have to use this red liner one. Here in the UK, it's a bank holiday weekend, which seems a bit strange, really, because with lockdown, you feel like it's a permanent bank holiday. So, yes, it's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK. So, I thought I'd revamp or revisit one of my older projects. Because I've got projects on YouTube that I filmed 7 years ago. And, of course, in those days, the technology with YouTube wasn't quite all there. The technology with the video cameras wasn't the same. The lighting, again. So I've moved a long way since my 7 years of doing YouTube. So I thought I'm going to revamp and refilm some of my older projects. So I'm sticking tape on here. You don't have to use red liner, use normal. I just can't find my normal tape for some reason. On 3 sides to create that big pocket, okay? And I know Karen will love this because she loves her big pockets to put lots of photos and things. So it's perfect for that. So tape on 3 sides. Okay. Oh, when I can get it off. That's the trouble with this red liner tape. It just sticks to everything. So I'm going to take that one off. And I'm going to have mine, I'm not going bang centre, I'm going to have mine slightly down. So I'm going about there. So that's going on there. And then I can stick my mulberry paper on. Okay, so that's going to go there. Now you can stick your mulberry paper on with glue, or you could stick it on with a bit of double-sided tape. If you're going to do glue, just beware in case it seeps through. So personally, I would perhaps go the double-sided tape route. Now I'm just getting my pictures here, because these are the pictures I'm going to have. So this was Callum. I'll tell you what, these classes have been great because I'm able to get a lot of my photos. I've been scrapbooking all these from my son's birthday a year ago, his 18th. I'm going to have my album finished. I tell you, it's brilliant. So I'm going to put those there. So if I was using wet glue, I would put the wet glue behind where the pictures are in case it seeps through your mulberry paper. All right. Another thing you could probably do, is use some double-sided tape, which is think of what I'm going to do. Christine's just said, Christina's just said, there's a bank holiday here tomorrow for Ascension, Thursday and Father's Day. So you've got Father's Day early, because here in the UK, Father's Day is June, isn't it? It's normally about, I want to say the 17th, but without checking my diary properly. Can anybody help me? Anybody look at their diary quickly and tell me what day Father's Day here is in the UK? See, our Father's Day is on a Sunday. So is your Father's Day on a Sunday? It's like Mothering Sunday's a Sunday. So I wonder if yours is the same. Oh, so you've got a big bank holiday weekend coming up. Right, I'm just going to pop a couple of bits of tape on mine rather than using glue, because I don't want any glue to seep through. Okay. I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to take that off. Oh, Catherine's just come back. It's the 19th of June here in the UK. Oh, so perhaps we ought to do a layout. If we're still locked down, which I think we're going to be, we ought to do a Father's Day layout, shouldn't we? Ooh. Or the men in our life. Or even the men that were in our life. So if you've lost somebody or a grandfather or something like that, we could do, couldn't we? So, oh, I'm having trouble getting the backing off this one. Who else is using red liner tape and their mulberry paper and having a problem? Or is it just me? Oh, no, Catherine's come back to me. No, it's the 21st of June. And then, hang on, I'm going back again because Christina said Mothering Sunday is the 11th of May. Right, because our Mothering Sunday is in March here. So, isn't it strange? They're different times all around the world. You'd think they'd all be on the same time, wouldn't you? I'm getting trouble getting my backing off this one. Dawn says in Australia it's in September. Different again. Isn't that strange that they're all at different times? This is why it's so hard to keep up with everything. Right, I'm struggling to get my back off my mulberry paper now. The back of this red line of tape. I should have just gone in with normal tape. Oh, I've done it. Right, I'm there. I'm there. Sorted. Right, so I'm going to lay that down now. So that's given me that nice jaggedy edge. Now this paper that I'm using, this mulberry paper, is actually more a lilac-y colour, but it works really well. Okay, so that's that one. Right, now we're going to go in and mat and layer our photos. So for this layout, I actually double matted and layered. Okay, so I've used 6x4 photos. So I double matted and layered. So to double mat and layer, so I'm going to use some cream. I'm going to use that colour. And I'm thinking I might use that colour. And guess what, Julie? Because I want to use this for next week's layout, I'm going to guts. I know, you're gonna scream and shout at me. Don't have a meltdown. I'm going to guts. So I'm going to use some of this. So I'm going to go with, I think, right, I'm going to gut this one first. So Julie's probably having a right meltdown now. She's probably swearing at the video as she's watching it. So I'm going to gut the middle of this, okay, to do my photo mats, because this was designed as a double layout. So I'm going to use navy for the outside. So I'm going to gut my navy piece. I'm not doing it just to upset you, Julie, honestly. Catherine's killing herself laughing. Yes, Catherine, you could quite easily use extra sheets if you've got them. See, when I sorted out my papers and stuff, I found like one sheet of this and one sheet of that colour. And I've got, look, one sheet of Dotty. I literally found one sheet of everything. So I haven't got that luxury. So I'm going to have to go in and gut. So I'm just going to go in and gut at 3/4 of an inch all the way round to start with. If you've got extra cardstock, I tell you what, knock your socks off and go for it. But I haven't. So while I'm gutting mine, you lot can be getting yourselves ready. So we're going to double mat and layer. Okay, for those that want to double mat and layer. Because sometimes we mat and layer, sometimes we don't. This time we're going to double mat and layer. So I've gutted that piece. And I've got this piece. So, my photographs. You're all laughing, aren't you? I know, I can just hear it. My photographs are 6x4. Let me just double check. That's just under 6 inches across, but it's roughly 6x4. So my first mat is going to be out of my creamy, sort of mushroomy type colour. And that is going to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So 4 1/4. I should have gone the other way actually, shouldn't I? Never mind. Because I can't get 2 6 1/4, but what I should have done was done 6 1/4 and then done 2 4 1/4, but it doesn't matter. Because once lockdown's over, I can go and buy loads more card. Won't that be wonderful? So, I'm going to pop all these bits to one side. I might need them next week. So that is my first mat. So you've got your 6x4. And then your 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So now with my middle piece of my navy, I need to go 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. So this time I'm going to go down 6 1/2 that way, and then do 2 4 1/2. So that's 1, and that is 2. So that's those. So they're my mats and layers. So Catherine says she's still laughing. She's not matting and layering her photos straight. So you're having far too much fun on these Wednesday mornings. That's what it is. So they're going to go on there. Now, did I tell you my photo isn't quite 6? But actually, that's okay. I'll run with that. I'll go with that one. I could trim it down a bit more. It's the side measurement. It was under 6 inches. Free prints had diddled me there. In fact, no, I'm going to trim it off. See, free prints took that little bit off. Let me take that bit off. And let me take that bit off and try it. I'm just literally taking 1/8 of an inch off. Let's see if that makes a difference. Julie says she's behind now. Her hubby came home from being he's been working away since Monday. Oh, that's no problem, Julie. So she's lost track. Don't worry. What have you lost track with, darling? So you missed the measurements of the gutting. Right, I gut out my navy piece the same, 3/4 of an inch all the way round. My photo mats, my photos should be 6x4, but free prints have diddled me a little bit. So I'm making them to match. So pretend you've got a 6x4 photo. So one mat is going to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And your next one is going to be 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. Okay. Catherine says that's no excuse, Julie. What are you ladies like this morning? I think the sunshine's getting to us all. Right, so they can be stuck down. Guess what? So let me take that little smithering off there. Who's matted and layered their photos and stuck them down yet? Anybody? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Or are you having too much fun laughing at us lot? So Julie says, sorry Dawn, before that you also said wait till it goes online. Yes, Julie, what I do, this live, after I've done this live, this is why things take me so long. After I've done this live, I then upload this over onto my YouTube channel. Okay, because America come on later normally, so you can watch this. You can watch this back on Facebook. I don't think you get all the funny comments coming up, but you'll probably sit back and chuckle. Okay, but you can also see it over on my YouTube channel. And also, if you go to my Dawn's Inspirations website and go to the scrapbooking post, I also embed the supply list video and this video in there as well. So if you look later today, they'll be in there. So if you just want to sit and have a laugh and a cup of coffee and a natter with us all, feel free, and then you can catch up later. Not a problem at all. That's the first one done. Not bad, eh? Everyone else has gone quiet. Are we still keeping up? You're all still here. Still got a good selection of you all, which is brilliant. Dawn's sending up some laughing faces. Julie says she needs to come up with this excuse every week. Yeah, but Julie, see, when you're in class, your husband doesn't come in, so you haven't got an excuse when you're in class, has she, Catherine? But never mind. Right, my 2 photos are matte and layered, but I'm not sticking them down just yet. Okay, they're not going down just yet, because I want to do the strip along the bottom. So if you look at your sketch, it's this bit along here. So you'll see I've got one piece that stops at the line and then one piece that goes all the way across. Now I am denied about what to use. Okay, I thought, what shall I use? What am I going to put on? And I didn't have enough of everything. See, I liked that, but I haven't got enough of that for 2 pages. So then I found this, which I thought actually could look a bit slalom-y like when he went on the wet bit. Julie says she knows he's a nuisance. Oh, I bet he's not. You love him dearly. He's made that lovely summer house for you. I'm going to put a piece of that along as my going to edge there. So I'm just going to straighten that up. And that is going to have to be stuck down, I think, with my double-sided tape when I find the end. Ooh, now I'm using red line. You don't have to use red line, but you could use anything for this. I mean, on the original, I used like a Hessian ribbon. You could use normal ribbon. You could just use cardstock. And actually, the next layer we're going to put on is just going to be cardstock. Now, I'm just eyeballing straight. So sorry if my head's in the way. Okay, I've just eyeballed straight, which probably is quite an achievement for a Wednesday morning. Oh dear. Julie says, meant to say too, he slept in his van. What, because of lockdown? Oh, so is he going to go straight to bed? Or is he going to keep going? See, the sacrifices we're all making for lockdown. It's amazing. So I'm going to stick this onto here as my slalom bit. And trim that off about there. Now and actually that's going quite nicely with the background swirls, where I'm happy with that. And then I was going to put a piece of, I'm going to put a piece of this paper across, and I'm just going to go up to there, I think. So I'm going to get my trimmer, because we've got a piece, if you look on your sketch, that takes you right along to your 12 by 12. So let's have a look. So I'm just going to trim that piece off there. Again, this is an old kit. This is an old Kim & Co kit I've got here. Oh, look. Perfect. That's going to go beautifully on there. So I'm going to stick that on. So I might need to have a bit thinner red line tape this time. So it doesn't have to be red line tape, but because I'm going on to this quite thick ribbon, I think I might be safer with the red line this time. So I'm going to pop that on there. I'm looking forward to seeing all the colourways you're using and photos you're using for this layout, because that's one thing I enjoy afterwards. That's why it takes me so long, because afterwards I'm making albums up, I'm commenting on your beautiful pictures, and it's great that you're all uploading them to Dawn's Inspirations. And when you put them up, don't think they're not there, because all I've got to do is move them across to the main page. And I try my best just to literally, I'm on the computer all afternoon, just moving everything across and commenting. That is perfect. Happy with that. I'm going to get my photos stuck down next. I might bring that one, yeah, slightly over there. And then I'm going to have my rosette here, because we're going to make a rosette, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do a bit of a rosette. So also I told you to get some twine, didn't I? So I think I'm going to put the twine around this one. So way to do twine. I've just got some blue going on here. I did and ah about blue, or I did and ah about, in fact I might go plain, because that blue's a bit light. I'm going to go plain. Right, because we're coming to the end now. So I'm going to get a bit of tape Or in fact, I can use this big bit of tape here because I'm just holding the back. Julie says she's stopping it. I don't blame you. You go and spend a bit of time with hubby and you can catch up later. And please, please, Julie, do share me your finished layout, won't you? Please, please. So I've got my twine and I'm just going to wrap it round a couple of times. I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times round there. In fact, I might do 3. Right, so that's going to go on there. Trim that end, and then embellishments. Now, I wonder what embellishments you picked. I found some keys, and I'm going to use keys again because it was Callum's 18th birthday. So here in the UK, we normally say you get the key of the door at 18. But also, he was going in a car, so I thought, car, keys, yeah, that'd work. So, even though he's been driving since he was 17, but we'll pop that through there. I've got a little hole here in this key, and it is a tiny little hole, so I'm going to have to use my pokey tool to put that through there. There we go. I'm going to chomp a bit of that off. So I've got my key through there, and what I'm going to do is tie those 3 that I've threaded, if that makes sense, together with the key on. So I could have threaded it through and it would have been a little bit more fiddly. You've all gone quiet. I hope you're all beavering away and that's why you're all quiet. So I'm just going to do that little double knot and then trim that off. And then I'm just going to ruffle those edges just with my nail so they don't look too smooth. So that is there, looking absolutely beautiful. Right, I'm going to go on to rosette next. So you're going to need your scoreboard. Okay, so you're going to need your scoreboard for this bit. All right, so the same colour I've picked here, I'm going to trim a piece. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to trim a piece that is about 1 inch wide. Okay. So I've got a piece that's 1 inch by 12 inches. I'm going to trim off that little piece there. All right. And I've just got a circle punch. You know, I meant to say to you, get a circle punch. Julie says, no, I meant not on here, laugh out loud. As soon as I get the measurements, unless everyone has written them down and can send me, I can start from the beginning, got behind the mould paper. Right, Julie, have you downloaded your sketch? Go to my Dawn's Inspirations website, go to Scrapbooking and go to page sketch 8 and download your sketch. All the measurements are there, my love. Okay, but you can watch the video again and you could fast forward to the mould paper bit. All right, unless you want to follow on now. So I've die cut myself, or punched out myself, 1 disc out of just a scrap of random paper. Okay, and I'm just going to stick my glue gun on for quickness. You don't have to worry about this. Okay, and then I'm going to punch a disc from, and I'm looking at my scraps of paper I had. I'm going to punch a piece from my cream as well to go on the top. Then I can pop the date on there. Okay, so that's going to go on the top with the date. So what I should do is I should get my pen and I should be putting the date on there. So the date was, and and don't be afraid to use your handwriting on your scrapbook layouts. So it was 2019. So that's my date one. They're ready to go. So next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my scoreboards so we can make a little rosette. Now it may be something a lot of you ladies have already done, but I know I've got a couple of new crafters crafting along with us. So, and I've lost my black disc. So to make your rosette, you're going to need 2 circles. Doesn't matter what size. The one I'm using here is 1 3/4, so it may be a little bit big. About 1 inch will be absolutely fine. Okay, I've got 12 inches by 1 inch, and I'm going to score along. This time I'm using my Stampin' Up. I've got all sorts of scoreboards, you know me. So you're going to score along every 1/4 inch. It's hard to start with because you've got nothing to... I'm hoping you can see. So I'm just literally going along every 1/4 inch. Okay, and then we're going to do zigzags. Once you get started, you're okay because then you can hold it. It's getting started on it. Now these rosettes, you can buy these, but why would you buy them when you can make your own? And the nice thing about making your own is they will match what you're doing on your layout. So I'm using here exactly the same paper, and that is why it just works so well. So now I've lost where I got to. There we go, I was there. Too busy talking. I bet you ladies, do you talk to yourself when you're crafting? I do, all the time. Sorry, how wide, Katie said. That's 1 inch. So I've got 1 inch wide by 12 inches, Katie, for this one. Probably far too long. I couldn't remember what I'd done on my original layout because we did it a while back. I should take more notes, shouldn't I? That is the trouble. I do my page sketches and I do my notes, and then after class I get rid of my notes and I should keep them. I will now. Kerry says she's going to catch up later. It's buffering up. You had this trouble last week, didn't you, Kerry, with it buffering? I think it might be the internet your end. I don't think we're getting any buffering this end. I've not noticed anything. So, yeah, not a problem, Katie. And I will pop it over on YouTube, and it will be on my website, and it will also be here on Facebook. So you take care, Katie. Stay safe, and we will see you next week. Okay, thank you for dropping in and seeing us. You can always stay on and listen to the chat and the gossip. Right, I've done that all the way along. So that bit's done, and now we've got to do concertina. Now this again, you'll be using this on your card making, your scrapbook layouts. The nice thing about using it on your scrapbook layouts is it's not too bulky. So if you're putting your pages into page protectors, they're not too bulky to do. Okay, so they're quite good as an embellishment, and you don't have to buy them. Carol says, I've lost you too. Where have you lost me, Carol? Did your internet go down, or have you lost a measurement? I'm not sure. I'm still here in my craft room. I've not gone anywhere. Do you want to catch up later? Let me know. I'm near the end now. We're just going to do the tags because we're coming up to an hour. So I'm just going to do the tag photo elements. And I'm not going to put a title on this one because my title is going to go on next week's one. So, how are we all doing? Carol's rejoined us, but has that made a difference rejoining perhaps, Carol? It might have done for you. So internet's all fine here. Right, so I've concertinaed that all the way along. And now I need to make my rosette. So I'm going to need some double-sided tape to join two together. Now, I bet some of you have done this before. I bet a lot of you have done this before. So, and then we're going to join this together. So I'm going to put some tape on both of those two pieces. So I'm going to put tape on that one and trim. I find it better just to overlap it slightly. but that's my personal preference. And again on there. And then I'm going to take the backing off this. Oh, that's the trouble with this red tape, it just sticks to you. And then I'm going to join those pieces together and just do the refolds, just fold up where you've rejoined so it lays nicely. Now you can stick this with some wet glue, okay, or you can stick this with your glue gun. I'm going to use an actual glue gun, and I'm now looking, because my paper's double-sided, whether to go that way or whether to go, no, I'm going to go the line side. So I've got my hot glue gun here ready. Hopefully it's warmed up. So in we go in there. Okay, so we're all keeping up with the rosette. You've all gone quiet, so I hope you're all folding and scoring. So I'm going to join mine all together now. So I'm putting my wet glue or my hot glue gun. I find hot glue guns easier, because then you don't have to wait for the glue to dry. So that is my base. This is the back bit you're not going to see. And then I'm going to pop that onto the top and just squish it all up together. Now don't worry that, oh, I was going to say, don't worry if it's not central. And mine's definitely not central because it was poking outside. Okay, so I'm just going to squish all that up. Should have the camera a little bit closer, but I think you can see what I'm up to. So just going to wait for a minute for that to dry. Yeah, that's dried nicely. And then I can stick on my top disc with the date, and actually that's worked out okay. So that punch I used was a 1 3/4 inch size. If you don't have a punch, you could quite easily use a circle die. Okay, and if you don't have a die cutting machine, just draw round something that's circular. And there you go, you've made your own rosette ready to go onto your page. So let me get this stuck onto the page now, and then we'll look at adding some photos without using cardstock to pop in our pocket. So I'm just going to put, while I've got my hot glue gun going, so that can go there as my added embellishment. Move all my wet glue strings out of the way. I heard a tip actually, and I don't know if any of you have tried it. You know when you're using a hot glue gun, you get these strings. I read that someone said if you keep your glue sticks, which are these bits, if you pop them in the fridge and they're cold and you use them in your hot glue gun, you don't get the strings. Now I haven't tried it, but I'll be interested to know if anybody has and if it does actually work, because any tips are handy, aren't they? I'm going to add my photographs now, and then we will look at popping some bits for our pocket. So as I said, in the original one I used portrait, and on the page sketch I've put portrait. But remember, with your page sketches, it's there as a base, as an interpretation for you to use. And that's why I thought this time I'll go in with landscape, just to show that you can also use different photographs. So to stick these, I'm going to go down with a little bit of silicone gel, I think. I think that one's going to come down there a bit, because this one's sticking up quite a bit because I've got the cord round it. So I'm not putting a title on here because I'm going to add my title to the one next week and making it a double page layout. All right. So I'm just going to move those up there. That's coming together quite nicely. And then with this one, I'm going to slightly overlap, but I've got to remember not to put any glue in this corner because this is going to be my pocket area. So I need to bring the glue on this corner in a little bit. Oh, let me get my glue to the end. It might help. Yeah, I'm just conscious I'm not going to put it where the pocket is. Right, so I'm going to slightly have that overlapping. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to make some, or add some photos to go into the pocket now. Have we all stuck our photographs down? Give me a thumbs up if you got your photographs down. Or are you still on your rosette? Doesn't matter. Just give me a sort of idea of where we are. I think we're okay. Yes, I'm trying to see who's putting their thumbs up now. Because it bursts like a little bubble. Right, so let's add some of these. So I've got some extra photos here, and as I said, I've got also the booklet from the day. Yes, we're all keeping up. Heather says she's still on her rosette. Not a problem, Heather. I'm sure you'll catch up with this bit. I'm just conscious I didn't want it to go on too long. So you see, like, I've got the booklet, so that could go into my pocket quite nicely. However, I know my pocket on the next page will be even bigger, so I think I'm going to put my booklet in next week's. So I'm keeping that out, but I want to do something with these extra photographs. Okay, so I've got Callum and my husband waiting, and there's one of him in the professional car there. So unlike my other photographs, this was where Callum had a driver with a stunt. He was passenger with a stunt driver, so it was pro driving this time, and he said it was absolutely fantastic. So to make extra ways of adding photo tags without using too much cardstock, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to might use a bit of that as well. Right, I've got some scraps here from what I've been cutting up. Okay, so again, trusty tag punch. I know a lot of you have got one already. So I need to cut this down to 2 inches, which I'm guesstimating here now. I'm guesstimating. Now, if you don't have a tag punch, you could do this with the edge of a die as well. It's another way you could do it. But for quickness, I'm doing it with the tag punch. So I'm popping just the scrap of paper in, and I'm going to have to turn it on its sides and bring it across, making sure I've got that central. Pop that. There's one. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the others. So I'm just lining it up from the back. Get rid of all the rubbishy bits, don't need them. And in again on here. There we go. Oh, come out. There we go. And actually, what I might do, rather do one set beige and one set navy, I could do alternate. See, just by using little scraps of card. Come out. There we go. Right, so what I've done is I've got these. Okay. And then with a pair of scissors, I'm just cutting those bits off. So I've got that shape going on. Okay, so I've got 2 of those, and I'm going to do the same with the navy ones that I've got here. So match them up together. And cutting across. And I've got 2 navy. And then what you're going to do is you're going to join your photographs together with glue. Okay, so I'm just gluing these together. making sure they're the right way up. So you see, if you had cardstock, you put cardstock in between, but actually when you think about it, it's in a pocket, so you are actually wasting some cardstock. So I'm just gluing the two photographs together, and I'm going to do the same on this one here as well. All right, so I know you've all gone quiet because you're all catching up. I can see you all. So put that one onto there. Okay, so just take a little bit of time for the glue. Now I am using the Collal or Collal, however these are extra prints. I wouldn't use that glue if they were your originals, because it's got acid in it, so it's not very good for your originals. But because I'm doing copies, I can use them. And then I'm just going to stick one of the tags on here. In fact, I might, no, we'll go with a little bit of this. It might slide about a bit, so just bear with it. And what you need to do is you need to put your glue, in fact, no, I'm just going to put a strip of glue on the first one, and then line it up to where you want it. Okay, when you're happy with where you want that, flip it over, but then the next one you're going to cover in glue, just carefully, not too much. I find you best to put a bit on like that, and then just take off the excess on the back of your hand. And then if you line one up with the other, it gives you your photo mat with a little pulley, which is perfect. So now let's do the same on this one. So again, glue on the bottom, which put it this side. There we go. And then flip it over, and then glue all over. Are we all keeping up? Give me some thumbs up how we're doing. You've all gone quiet. I think you're all busy. If you're just watching this time and want to join in later and just want to join in with the chat, just let us know you're there. So that's how quick and easy it is to do those extra little photo mats. Oh, we're keeping up. That's great. So as I said, I'm not putting a title on mine. Now I know Jean was going to do it as a single page layout. So Jean, if you're going to pop your title on, you could put it across here. You could put it up here. You could incorporate it into your rosette down the bottom. So my photo tags are ready to go in, because I'm conscious now we're coming to the end time wise. Okay. Oh, Katie's postie arrived, so she's a bit behind. That's not a problem, Katie, because you can catch up. Catherine says she's finished. So, oh, Catherine, I'm going to see your layout coming up first. So can you see how this big photo, this big pocket, can take absolutely lots of these photo mats? So I know, like Karen, she likes to always add pockets. So you're going to absolutely love this layout, aren't you, Karen? You know, and this is the beauty of it. You can add lots. Okay, lots of photos to here. So that is my take on page sketch 8. So there's page sketch 8 that you printed off. Okay, so there's your page sketch. There's your finished layout, or there's my finished layout, which I will upload over onto my Facebook page. And if I bring across the one I did originally, okay, by using different papers, don't they look totally different? It is just amazing how different they look with different papers. So, you know, don't be afraid to do another one, have another go. So Dawn says, right, Dawn's signing off. She says, fabulous page. See you next week. You'll see me here next week, Dawn. I know it's a bank holiday on Monday. I will try my very best to keep our supply list to 12 o'clock on Monday. I will put a notification over on my Facebook page, so keep an eye on that for when the supply list will be going live, and I'll do it live like I normally do. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going off to a party or going out for the day. I'll be here. So I will do it. Okay. Yeah, Katie realised that hers is going to be a reverse. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Now, if I bring in what we're going to do next week, this is the layout next week that's going to go with it. Okay, so you can see how they're going to go as a double page layout. So it doesn't matter if it's the reverse. What I'll try and do is I will try and get the camera sorted out for next week. So this is how mine would look as a double page layout. Okay, my dear old dad, we took him to, he took my mum here when they were courting. We managed to get him back there before. He's a bit poorly in a home now, so that's not a problem. So you can see how it works as a double page layout, and this is exactly the same as the page sketch round. So actually it's not any different. You're welcome, Margaret. Margaret says thank you. Oh, I'm a star. Oh, thank you, Margaret. And I will see you next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, 10:30, Scrap Along live as normal. Chris says she's made a bit of a boob, stack her embellishments and photos on the pockets. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, no problem. I'm sure, Chris, you're going to sort that out. I know you will. But you don't have to have a pocket. If you want to stick it straight down, you can, because you've got another, look, you're going to have another big pocket next week if you're doing a double page, Chris, so don't worry, because look, you've got another really big pocket next week, so don't worry about it. As we say, there's always a way round. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. This is my page sketch 8. Okay, I'll share some pictures over on my Facebook page. Jean says she's nearly finished. That's fantastic, Jean. Fantastic. I think you're enjoying these Wednesday mornings, aren't you? I'm going to send you some love hearts across the screen for you ladies and gentlemen. Do stay safe. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the sunshine when you can. I'm going to go outside and tackle my garden this afternoon, but I will be commenting on your images, popping them all into an album. Okay, so love to you all, big hugs, stay safe, and I will see you at 12 o'clock Monday for Supply List Live and 10:30 Wednesday for Facebook Scrap Along Live. Lots of love, take care, and see you very soon. Thank you, Carol. Carol says she's had a great morning. You're welcome. And Barbara says thank you. You're absolutely welcome, Barbara. You stay safe as well, because I know you ladies are on your own, and it is so very hard being on your own. So if you can put up with me gabbling in your ear for just over an hour and having a little bit of fun, we'll keep going. You take care, Julie. Look after that husband of yours, and I shall see you all next week. Bye for now.